Hi, I'm Reverend Wendy Craig-Purcell here at the Unity Center in San Diego. Thank you so much for watching today. If you'd like to support the work that we do here, please consider making a contribution. Go to our website. It's easy to do. Thank you in advance for that contribution. Oftentimes, I think we look at people, or we think that people who are religious or people who are spiritual, and I don't believe that those are the same thing, but I believe that oftentimes we have a bit of a stereotype around people who are devoted to that way of life as being very serious, not very happy, and certainly not very much fun to be around. And yet Paul is writing to the early church, the early original followers of Jesus' teachings, and he's saying, hey, look, these are some of the signs of your awakening. These are some of the signs of a spiritual life. You will begin to express in this way and to feel in this way, and he includes joy as one of them. What happens to us as we go deeper and more consistently into our application of these spiritual teachings is we find that our old ways are in fact old ways. We find that to a certain extent, to use very religious terms, we feel as if we are born again. We feel as if we are born anew, born fresh, meaning that our old self is no longer present in the way that it was before. We are stepping into a new and fuller way of living and being. What we also have to do is we have to be willing to do some work to train our minds. To train our minds and to open our heart for joy by weeding out the things that destroy it. And I was thinking of 3 biggies that destroy joy. And as I share them with you, check in with yourself and see if you would agree. Maybe your list is the same as mine, or you might find that you have an even longer list than I have. But I think these 3 are 3 of the biggest ones. That we need to weed out comparing. Right? Yeah. Comparing. We can admire something that another person has or a way another person is, but admiring is very different than comparing. Comparing, I believe, is the murderer of joy. It steals our joy. As soon as we are comparing, we either feel a sense of false superiority, or more often, we feel what? A sense of inferiority. We somehow don't measure up. We somehow aren't doing as well as the other. And there goes our feeling of contentment, right? We do stuff for our physical being many times every single day. We do things many times a day, or at least during the work week, to provide for our needs. We work to earn money, to be able to have a roof over our head, blah, blah, blah. It's so easy for us to neglect completely what our souls need. And I don't know how we can experience true joy and contentment if we are ignoring the care and feeding of our souls. It's so easy to put it on the back burner. And what I have seen in years and years now of ministry is how often we will step back into our spiritual practice or step back into our spiritual communities when things are falling apart. And I'm glad that we do, but I often wonder, if we stayed the course and cared for our soul's well-being, not just paying attention to it when our life is falling apart, but on a consistent basis, that we said, in the same way I make room for everything else in my life, I'm going to make room for my soul. I'm not going to let anything keep me from doing the 1 or 2 things every day that lift me up on a soul level. I don't know exactly what those are for you. I hope you know what those are for you. And more than hoping that you know what they are for you, that you commit yourself to doing them.
Many people enjoy Reverend Wendy's talks and meditations and aren't able to attend the Unity Center in person. If you're part of our extended family from around the world and would like to help support the Unity Center, please go to our website or download our free app, which offers even more ways to connect with the Unity Center. Namaste.